is Dr. Vara Lakshmi, and I'm going to be discussing you the market structures and the types of the competitions by the business economics and financial analysis subjects. So here, the entire subject is about the types of the market and the competitions as well as the institutions they are going to be establishing. First of all, in the module 1, we had the discussion about the how to identify a demandable product which is more suitable to the society of the people so that they can utilize the resources maximum without any wastages, and that concept is called as an economy also. Means every resource, every element which is available on the earth should be useful by the people, and that usage should be very effective. That's why the economy concept has came. So this economic concept is divided into two elements. One is the macroeconomics and the another one is the microeconomics. But in this BEFA subjects, we are very close towards this microeconomics than the macroeconomics, because once we have done very perfectly or we have very keen observable at the micro elements, then automatically we can see the results at the macroeconomics. That's why every people wants the products. That products are going to be getting from the producers only. But the producers, what kind of the products they have to produce means by identifying the most demandable product which is suitable to the needs, wants, desires of the people, then only they can be able to produce that particular product. That's why in the module 1, we have seen what is the meaning of the demand, elasticity of the demand, law of the demand, and the types of the elasticities, how to measure the demand, law of the demand, and how to forecast the demand for a product by using the quantitative elements, quantitative methods as well as the qualitative methods. Once the demand is identified for a product, the next concept is about the production of that particular product. This production of the product is again depends on the inputs which they are all providing, because output will be automatically generates based on the inputs we are giving for that particular product. So while giving these inputs, the best combination of inputs has to be fixed by the producer. For the identification of that best combination of that inputs, different kinds of the production functions are using by the producer. And once the product is produced, in that process, the expenditure which is incurred by the producer is calculated in the form of the cost. Then only they can go for the second P of the market structures, that is pricing. So once the production is done, a product is made, then the next concept is about the fixing of a price. That is in the module 2, we have seen what is the production and what is the cost analysis under all. And the third thing is, once the product is done, price is fixed, then the next concept is placing of that particular product. So once the price is fixed by the producer, if he is keeping with himself, so the people, those who wants that one may reach us to that person, but that product should be made available to those who request for that particular product. That is, placing of the product is also very important one. That means wherever there is a demand for that product, then only they have to place that one. That placing related elements are going to be discussing in this module 3, that is market structures, and based on that particular placing, how many competitions will be there, and all those elements will have the discussion. So let us see the market. First of all, our concept of the module 3 starts with the concept of market. Generally, in our day-to-day life, at least once in a day, we will use this particular terminology. Have you went to the market? Or have you went to, or we may use this different terminologies. Have you went to the shop, grocery shop, or did you purchase in this online? That is also a market. But we don't know the definition of this market. But it's very simple that market means it is a place where the exchanging of goods and services will be takes place. Once again, I'm repeating, market means it's a place where the exchanging of goods and services will be occurs. Then that place of the exchanging might be the virtual or might be the physical. Physical markets also there, and the virtual markets nowadays everyone is very familiar with these virtual markets. And the e-commerce businesses, how the people are going to be utilizing the services of the marketers directly by seeing that product in virtually online orders we are all placing. So that's why market means it is a place where the goods and services are all exchanging. So generally the people will say that market is defined as where the buyers and the sellers meeting point, so that they may be meet physically or in a indirect, that is virtually also they both can meet. So that's why we can say that the elements of the markets are all three. One thing is the buyer, another thing is the seller, another thing is the goods and services which they are mutually exchanging. For the exchanging of that one, generally in the previous one we had the barter system. So for the exchanging of the goods, buyer will give there is no concept of buyer and seller. The two people were there, and those two people were exchanged the goods whichever they have. So if somebody wants the rice, another one has provided the cotton to them in exchange for the cotton, he has received the rice. In exchange of the rice, the other person has received the cotton. So that's why that was called as a barter system. But that is weed out in this 50 years or the 60 years, it is gone. Or then later on, some medium of exchanges were replaced with the cattle, shells, as well as these coins, silver coins, gold coins, and Raja Mudras are also used for the exchanging of the goods from one person to another person. They have used. Now we can see everywhere the exchanging of the goods are with the money or the money equivalents. That is there only. But whatever it is, but that exchanging will be takes place, then it is called as the market. Then market structure is called as the description of all the elements in that particular market. For example, if it is the grocery shop, we are all going to there. So there we can see the room will be there, and the displaying of the goods will be there, and he is he is going to be displaying the goods sometimes, and whatever we ask, and he will brings for us. So that then that market we can describe it as it's a room, or there is a room, there is a display of the goods, and there is a desk over there, and the seller will be there, as a buyers can go, and for the payments they can give the cash, or for the phone pay there is a scanner in front of that particular window of that particular shop, that we are all can describe the particular shop or the exchanging places where the goods and services will be exchanging places. Then we can describe that one. So how many people are there in what is the locality of that one. If it is an online, then we can say that suppose if I have purchased a bicycle, and that person will be asked, where have you if any other person asked me, where have you purchased this bicycle, then they'll say that I have searched from so and so website. In that website, so I have to give the website address. Then they can go for that one. Okay, it is a virtual mode, and these are offers they are all giving. This is the orders facilities they are giving, and this is a payment mechanism they are giving. And is there any cash on delivery facilities are all there or not? And in what way they are all providing? Are they providing any services, additional services to that one or not? Are they providing any warranty for that particular bicycle or not? And also to where they are going to be delivering. Are they providing for the door delivery or nearby the any parcel services are they sending? So these kind of questions will be, this kind of attributes will be added for this online website itself, then we can say it as a market structure. Here is it also, or we sometimes we can see that the brand of that particular products, who has manufactured it, what is the labeling of it, and what are the cautionary instructions provided in that particular element, what is the expiry date of that one, everything we will take into the consideration, right? That is called as, that description of that exchanging place is called as the market structure. So that's why it always refers to the how different industries are classified, differentiated based on the degree and the nature of the competition for goods and services. Then if it is one shop, we have described that one. If the two shops are all there, we can say that this shop is bigger than that particular shop. And this is very, there is no online payment mechanism for this particular shop when compared to the others ones. So if two beside the two shops are all there behind one each other, then we can say that we can compare with this one element to another element. Like this, for all the products, if we take into the consideration, then we can segregate as an industry wise: oil and gas industries, and consumer goods industries, healthcare industries, telecom industries, utilities industries, financial services or the banking industries, IT companies, raw material providing companies. So like this, we can segregate the industries based on the category of the products. Again, they're all attributed to that one. That is also again the market structure. That is nothing but the description, like what kind of the products that are available, how many sellers are all there, how many buyers are all there, what is the technology updation in that particular products exchanging, what is the mechanism of exchanging of the goods and services, and what are the other attributes which are associated to that particular exchanging of the goods and services, all comes under the market structure. So that's why once if we observe the characteristics of this market structure will be more about the number of persons in that particular, say, exchanging of the product. So how many firms are all there, or how many sellers are all there, and how many manufacturers are all there for that product, or are they going to be selling in at which place, and how many commodities they are going to be exchanging. So based on that one, what kind of competition existing between one type of seller to another type of seller, everything is going to be taken into the consideration. So let us say in a particular area, similar kind of the products are all, more number of people are selling this, all the watermelons, or if we have seen a fruit shop in any of our localities, there every person is having the same kind of the fruits, then we can say that the characteristics of that market is homogeneous and perfect competition is there that in that particular market. That is nothing but the description of that market in terms of the number of sellers. So we can say it as characteristics of the market structure. So means market structure characteristics include the number of the buyers and the number of the sellers and what kind of the competition existing between them. That means are they selling the similar kind of the products or the different kind of the products, and what are the prices are they providing, are they selling with the same price, are they selling with the differentiated prices, and what is the area of that particular selling, are they virtually selling or the physically selling, if it is physically selling, in which locality they are going to be selling, and what is their what kind of the commodities they are all selling. All these elements if we have provided about any product or all the kind of the products, then we can say it as the characteristics of the market structure. The next concept is about the features of the market structure. So here, the features of this market structure, what for this we have to understand this market structure means, whenever we are going to be getting a job, and that means two cases after completion of our degree, either we may become an employer or we may become an employee. But in either of these two cases, we have to identify where we are going to be communicating this particular product. to whom we are going to be communicating this product, and how much of demand is going to be existing for this product. In that particular market, if it is not there, is there any chance of moving to the further any other places, so that we can estimate our particular job securities, or we can see if we are an entrepreneur, we can see where to go for furtherly, where to introduce this particular product in other markets. All these kind of features are going to be discussing by the market structure. So that's why this market structures features are always consist the industry buyers structure. What kind of buyers are all there, and how much of turnover they are going to be get. That is a beneficiary for that particular participants, both the buyer as well as the seller. And the extent of product differentiation. Are they extremely selling the unique products, or are they selling the different kinds of the products or the similar kind of the products? And the nature and cost of that inputs, and the number of players in the market, vertical integration extends in the same industry. That means, is there any possibility of extending the furtherly for this particular production, or the largest players market shares? So, who are the largest ones, and who are the suppliers of that particular products, and who are the dealers for this particular products? All these kinds of elements can be discussed under the, all these kinds of elements will be comes under the features of market structure. So, once a market structure is going to be beneficiary, then, or if any of the market structure is going to be changing, means it is mainly because of the introducing of the new competitor into that particular market. Means the buyer's power might be reduced because of the new supplier introduced, or if they are not getting, means the new person is not going to be entering into that particular market. There is these situations we can see that only one family or the one group of people only are allowed to that particular ones. Especially in auto stands, you might have seen. If a new auto person has to be survive in that particular locality, it is not that much of easy. He has to go for the association. He has to obey the previously those who are the seniors over there. He has to accept all these things, which means he has a barrier to enter into that particular market structure. Then obviously the previous people, whatever the cost they will ask, by that cost only the buyers has to accept for that one. Or sometimes the suppliers' powers might be reduces. More number of supplies will be available. Obviously, these powers, the suppliers' powers will be reduces, and buyers' power might be increases or the decreases. Or the threat of the substitutes, the products might be replaced by the another products. These are all the determining factors for the market structure. If more the number of the suppliers will comes, then automatically that product will be prices will be reduces, which means the market structure again it will be changes. And if they are not allowing any other person, there is a chance of buyers moving to another market. And if the barriers are all there, that means government has banned or government is permitting only few members into that particular market or to sell that particular product. Again, there is a changes of these prices and the availability of the products are everything will be changes. Threat of substitutes. So that fashion of, especially in the fashion as well as this textile businesses and all, that products will be replaced with another kind of the products and all. So these are all called as the determinants of the market structures, which means the supplier buyer, conditions of the governing elements, as well as the types of the products. These four elements are all going to be determining the market structure. If the number of the buyers reduces, then obviously the cheaper the cost of the products over there. Then we can say that very less buyers are all there. And if the market structure is very perfect, means the number of buyers are all going to be increasing. So that's why we can say that the buyers, even these are all only main 4 elements are only along with this one. The small attributes like even though the buyers are all there, what is their income factors? The suppliers are all there. What is the logistic factors which is attributed to the suppliers? Barriers to enter, the government is going boosting for that particular industries, but there is a lack of or the shortage of the raw material or the labor or the machineries and the technologies, etc. That is again another problem. Threat of the substitutes, we can't even imagine that this product will be a substitute for another product. All these things are sometimes become a strength for any of the organization or may become a weaknesses for the any of the organization. So that's why any market, any organizations or any products market structure will be mainly depends on these 4 elements. So to measure this market structure, they are going to be using this formula, that is Herfindahl's formula. We can say it as summation of S1 square. Based on this formula, they are going to be measuring the market structure. So market structures means, if assume that yes, I, they are all saying market share of the firm I, or share of the firm J, or share of the firm K, which means suppose yes, there are 100 products are all selling in a particular market. Means one person is selling 50 products, another product, second person is selling 20 products, third person is selling 30 products. We can say it as SI, SG and SK. But in total, how many products they are all selling in that particular market? 100 products. They are all sufficient enough. If somebody newly introduces, if the other person might be introduces, but only there is a need for 100 number of products only, this person might be able to sell 40, this person might be able to sell 15, this person might be able to sell 20. The remaining will be sales by the other products, new person which is entering into the market. But the remaining 10 products available with the S1 will be remains wastages, or they still remains. And this person still has to struggle towards the selling of this 5. And obviously the competition will be reduces and they could be able to sell with a less cost only. So that's why it is better to identify the measurement of that market structure. If there is a scope for the further person introduction, then only it is better to introduce in that particular market. Otherwise, there is no scope. If there is no scope at all, then we can't enter into that particular market. Even if we enter into that particular market, in and all, every person will affect because of the new entry. So to measure the scope for that market structure, so this is a formula they will use us, that is Herfindahl's market structure, that is market share of the firms which are existing in that particular markets. There is a large number of the people over there and around. So that's why this applicability of the market structures, wherever they are all using, how the firms are all going to be using the concept of this market structure, means that is called as the significance of the market structure. The first usage of this market structure, we can see that as a customization. Customers increasingly wish to purchase the products modified to their taste and preferences. Increasingly they require this one. Then they have to, this market structure identification will easily helps them to up to what extent they can change the products, up to what extent they can increase the number of the products. And if any person is going to be getting the any losses, up to what extent he can give the some discounts to impression of the good value on him. Even in the markets also we can see that generally at the beginning they won't provide any discounts and all, but later on they will start providing the discounts at all. So which means this loss leader also up to what extent he can provide the discounts and what kind of offers he can give to the customers to increase the number of the sales can also be understands with the help of the identifying the market structure. And pay for best workers. So firms may want to employ top chefs, best footballers and all. Do they be affordable to introduce that particular to pay for the further best ones? For example, assume that there is a hotel is there. In that hotel, the number of the customers are all very less previously. They will go, they won't think about the introducing of a new chef or the changing of the new chef. If the number of the people are coming, though they are eating over there, they are not getting satisfied with that food, then they will think about the replacing with that particular chef with the next best chef, so that they can be more number of sales he can expect for that one. Again, he has to think about the market structure only, how many people are coming and what are they are expecting, what are they going for any substitutes. If there is no substitute at all, can they go for the any improvisation into the workers or not? They can think about it one. And also to this market structure is also very useful for the online reviews. Generally, this nowadays everyone is saying that you please go through with the online review, give us some reviews of our websites and apps and all, they are all asking for us. So here is also, without knowing the market structure or without having the idea on that market structure, we can't give a best feedback over that particular product. Even for the fetching of the online reviews or also this market structure is more useful for us. And the location and the conveniences. So like for some services, being in the right location is most important one. So if they are not in that particular location, they may not be get that much of identity for that particular product. So what is the right place to introduce their product? If they want to know, they should know the present existing conditions of that particular locality or that exchanging procedures. So that's why this market structure is again useful for the introduction of the new products at which location, at the convincing elements they have to be known, that one. And also they want to give the advertisement, what kind of advertisements they have to give to reach the maximum number of the people. If only one less people are there, they can go for the print media. If a more number of the people are there and they are that shop is going to be covering many areas and it is a central of that one, then they have to go for the another kinds of the advertisements, paid form or the non-paid forms, they will go for that one. If it is a kirana shop is there, for that kirana shop, no one will give the TV ads. But if it is a gold shop, then definitely they'll go for the TV ads, advertisements, pamphlets. In all this one ways, they will give the advertisements. If it is a kirana shop, non-paid form only, they will try to reach us to the maximum number of customers. That means the market structure for that kirana shop is very less or the more number of the competitors. So he has taken that decision. But the gold shop under all, even though this there is a more number of sellers might be there, but they might have the brand image, brand name of that one. For that one, they'll go for the further extension of giving the advertisements more on different platforms. Paid form only, they'll try to reach us to the more number of customers. So here they are going to be estimating the market structure. Based on that one only, they'll go for the advertisements. And if at all any modifications are required for that particular product, then we can say it as a customization as per the customers. Are they be able to change that particular modifications as per the taste and preferences of the customers or not? If they change that particular product's customization, and how furtherly, what is the chances to get more number of sales with that particular products and all, they have to think about that one. Which means overall, in and all, even if a product has to launch, and if they want to decide at which place they have to launch that particular product, if they want to collect the feedback of that particular products, and if they want to introduce the best employees for that one, or if they want to get out from the losses, and if they want to provide the advertisement for that particular products and all in and out, they requires the market structure analysis. So this analysis only helps them to overcome all these kind of the problems. The next concept is types of competition. As we have already discussed that market structure means the number of the customers, the number of the buyers, the places, or all the attributes related to the particular exchanging place is called as a market structure. In that particular market structure, if there is a direct competition is there, or there might be the indirect competition might be there. So based on that one, the markets were categorized into two markets: perfect competitive markets, imperfect competitive markets. And if we have seen or not, these are all called as the market structure attributes only. That is the number of the buyers, number of the sellers, is it enter and exit strategies, nature of the products, availability of the market information. All these are all called as the market structure. Market structure attributes, elements are only. If there is more number of the buyers as well as the more number of the sellers, then there is a direct competition is there, and that too they are all selling the same kind of the products, and anyone can easily enter into that particular market, and if he is able to get out from that market easily, then that competitive markets will be called as the perfect competitive markets. Generally, whatever this perfect competitive, fruit shops you can take, all the kirana shops you can take, vegetable markets, etc. Whatever you can take in that particular market, or whatever, even if it is a cloth shop, gold shop, whatever the kind of industry it is. If there is more number of the buyers, more the number of the sellers, and that is easy to start and easy to close, and all the kind of the products are all similar in that particular between the sellers, and then we can say that information about that particular market is also easy to know that one. That kind of the markets are all called as the perfect competitive markets. No one is the superior here, no one is inferior here. Everyone is selling the same kind of the products, everyone is easily getting that particular production. But if there are many or few members are all there buyers, there might be a lot number of the buyers, or a very few members are all there, and same as with the sellers. But it is vice versa. If there is more number of the buyers, few number of the sellers, or few number of the buyers, more number of the sellers. In such kind of the business, if at all imbalances are all there, then it is very difficult for us to enter into that particular market, either buyer or the seller. And that too, there may be things that's the same kind of the products, but somehow there might be a slight difference between the products. Even if the packages are also, there might be a difference, brand, quality might be the difference, or completely there might be a new product set or all. Then that kind of the markets are all called as the imperfect competitive markets, and that too, information in that particular markets will be very less. So we will have a very less information about that one, and only few of them, very few informations, like we don't know what kind of ingredients they are all using, or what is the products that may not be easily available to everyone and all. That markets will be called as the imperfect competition markets. That are all will be called as the imperfect competition markets. So that's why the markets were categorized as two elements: perfect competitive markets as well as imperfect competitive markets. In this, Perfect competitions means what is the larger number of the buyers, larger number of the sellers. So we can say that with a demand and supply curve, we can have the better understanding of this market structures. Any supply or the demand will be explains with the help of the quantity only, and price is the most determining element of any product. For example, if the price is 10 rupees, assume that the people are purchasing 10 products. If the price is 10 rupees and the availability of the products is also 10. Then, if the more the number of the price, if you increase the number of the prices, then the availability of the products will also be increases. So for 10 rupees, if you are getting 10 products means, if you spend 20 rupees, you will get 20 products. Then we can say that it is a supply function. If the number of the amount you are all keeping, then obviously there is a more supply will be there for the production. This is called a supply curve. Then assume that the 10 rupees is there, the people are purchasing the 10 products. If that product is increased to 20, obviously the demand of that product will be reduces as per the law of the demand. Affordability or the able to purchase that particular demand will be reduces. Then if we combine these ones, then we can say it as the demand curve. So here what it indicates is supply means the more the number of the prices you introduce, then the more the number of the availability of the products by the sellers are only, because the sellers are only can provide the supply of, can make the supply of the products. So we can say that if the seller is spending 10 rupees, assume that if he is going to be get 10 products, then if he is able to spend 20 rupees, then obviously the supply of the products will be increases. Then mostly the sellers will be attributed towards the supply, whereas the demand is with the users, that is the buyers. The buyers are all purchasing 10, if the 10 products are all purchasing at a 10 rupees, then obviously if it is the price increases, the buyer's income ability may not be supposed to purchase. So the demand will be reduces. Then we can see that this is a demand curve. So it means, so generally low supply to high supply, whereas the demand is high demand to low demand. Means there are 100 products supply, there is a requirement of 200 products. Then obviously the price will be more. The prices will be more. Here, meeting point means where the supply is equals to the demand, means there is a 100 requirement is there, 100 availability is there. Then the prices will be obviously medium. As per this example only, we can see this one highest, this is a medium. And if we have seen here, supply is high than the demand, because there might be the requirement is 200, 100. There is a 100 products demand is only for 100, whereas the supply is the 200 number of products. whereas the supply is 200 number of the products. There is more number of the products than the requirement, then we can say that obviously at this point the prices of the products will be very low than the medium, lower than the medium. So that is called as the inflation or the economy situations. We can say this particular diagram as the economy situation. Here, if you have observed, this portion is called as the inflation. Here this portion is called as the deflation, which means supply is low, demand is high. Here means they are ready to purchase the products for at any price. Their money is chasing for the goods. Money is chasing for the goods. They are ready to spend any amount to purchase that particular goods. Then we can say that the rates are all increasing for the goods. That situation is called as the inflation. If that same equilibrium point it reaches to the means, the number of the requirement is same and the number of the availability is also same, and at this point of time the number of the sellers and the buyers both will get the satisfactory elements, that is called as the perfect competition. Here it is. But if the inflation or the deflation, there is an imperfect competition. Either the buyers are all more or the sellers are all more. Here also, once if we have seen, the sellers are all more, the buyers are all very less. That is called as the imperfect competition. This inflation or the deflation are also. So see here, the 200 number of the products are all 200 products are all required, but only 100 products are all under supply, which means sellers are all few or less, whereas 200 number of the demand is there, means buyers are all larger or more. Then in that situation generally the prices will be very high. That's why price or the money is chasing for the goods. Money is chasing for the goods. That situation is called as the inflation. And that too, here if it is an equilibrium once, both the sufficient number of the sellers, means each seller is not equivalent to the buyer, but there is a 5 sellers but they are selling 100 products, and in that 100 number of the buyers are also is there, then it is called as equilibrium point. Both the sellers and buyers will be satisfied, they will get benefit, and the medium costs will be, or the reasonable cost will be there for that particular product. In the second situation, the sellers are all larger, like our farmers, but the buyers are all very less, more or very few members will be there. At that time the prices will be generally of low, where here the goods are chasing for the money. Goods ఎంతో కొంత ఇచ్చి తీసుకొని వెళ్ళండి అనేసి we may be seeing this kind of phenomena in the markets. They're ready to sell with this even lower prices are also. That is called as the goods chases the money. That situation is called as the deflation. So that is the main economy situations occurs. From there only the market structures will be exist. So here in this imperfect competition markets and all, if we have observed in this one, in the previous example, there we have seen this supply curve as well as the demand curve. Here we came to know that one high demand to the low demand. It is an equilibrium point where it is means perfect competition. But imperfect competitions means the sellers are all either one, two, or few. But the buyers are all at larger. If only one seller are there and the more the number of the buyers, then we can say it as the monopoly competitive market. Mono means a single, poly means seller. Single seller and larger number of the buyers are all there, then that kind of markets will be called as the monopoly markets. It means that again the imperfect competition markets are all categorized as monopoly markets. Monopoly. And if the two sellers are all there, larger number of the buyers are all there, we can say them as the duopoly markets. Few sellers are all there and the larger number of the buyers are all there, then we can say it as the oligopoly markets. If only one person was there, larger number of people were there, obviously the other cloning products will be introduced, then few members, and if that slowly become the buyers and the sellers will be reaches to this equilibrium point, then we can say that economy is at growth position. Then if not, if there is this position is not reached, what happens is, obviously if it is no profitability, then they will try to reduce this making or producing of the product. Again, this situation will be like buyers will become exhausted, or the sellers might stop that particular production. In that situation, buyers will be the very less, that is 1, 2 or the few members, and the sellers will be the larger number of the sellers might be there. Then at that situation, we can say that buyer means optiony. So here poly means seller, buyer means optiony. If only one buyer, larger number of the sellers, then we can say it as monopsony market. Then if two buyers are all there and larger number of the sellers are all there, we can say that duoopsony market. If it is a few number of the buyers are all there, larger number of the sellers are all there, we can say that as oligoopsony markets. So here, based on the number of the sellers and the buyers, that is all market structures only, because the number of the buyers, number of the sellers, type of the products, we are all observing that one. Monopoly means why there is a more demand, means that product they are thinking it as very unique. And in this kind of the ones, it is not that much of easy to satisfy or diversify the customers from this particular seller. So that's why entry is very difficult. Unless and until they have satisfied than this particular seller, the second person will not be exist in that particular market. And the third thing is few members they have to come, means it again it is there might be some expertise required for them. Some cooperation is required from these two members, and this person should get the additional powers and opportunities, then only they can survive in that one. Then it slowly becomes to this perfect competition. But if at all any bitter experiences occurs at this stage, it will directly jumps to this situation. Even in an economy also, if inflation after deflation, after inflation it occurs, then we can say that the economy is under recession. Economy is under sinking economy. We can say that economy is called as the sinking economy. So that's why every government or related industry regulatory authorities will take care of balancing or bringing that particular inflation to this equilibrium points. How can they control, means by having, if it is a monopoly, by introducing the duopoly or by encouraging the oligopolies in that one. If it is a monopsony, then by encouraging the oligoopsony or bringing it to the oligopoly. These are all the remedial elements they can take care to make the rectification of that particular economy situations in that particular market. RBI, SEBI, or Competition Commission of India and the Government of India, financial sectors, or the each and every industrial sector, small scale, larger scale, whatever the ministries are all there, all these people will follow the same structures or same informations only. For that particular industry, how many sellers are all there? How many buyers are all there? What is the situation over there? Are they facing the inflation situation, or are they facing the deflation situation? If it is an inflation situation, they'll think about bringing it to the equilibrium point. If it is a deflation, the remedial things will be taken to bring it to the equilibrium point. So that's why this knowledge about these market structures will be more useful to the every organization and every person to improve the economic conditions of the particular country. And next thing is, we have seen what is the imperfect competition markets. But the perfect competitions markets means we can say that free software, street food vendors, agricultural markets, all the vegetable markets, flower markets, fruit shops, wherever we are going for that one. This one we can say these are all the examples for the competitive markets. There is a larger number of the buyers and the larger number of the sellers. Even if the few buyers are all there, few sellers will be there. One buyer is there, one seller only will be there. So that means there is a balance between the buyers and the sellers. But if it has any imbalances will be occurs between the number of the buyers and the sellers, then only the imperfect competitive markets will be exist. Or if it is a perfect competition also, if one seller is having 10 number of the products, 10 number of the buyers are all available, then it is perfect competition only. If two buyers are all there, two sellers are all there, they are selling 100 products, that two sellers are sufficient enough to sell 100 number of the buyers, then it is again perfect competition. But if the sellers and the buyers and the quantities which they are all selling if it is different, then only it will be called as imperfect competitive markets. So that's why the features of these perfect competitive markets are all to sell the identical products. Generally, they will sell the same number of the products. Or we can't say this here the buyers are all the price takers or the price makers. Both are mutually agrees, and the perfect competition, the sufficient or the suitable prices will be exist for that particular products. Buyers have competition or the perfect information about the previous sales, present demand, and the future existing demand, and they are also very flexible to change that particular availability of that product according to the changes in the taste and preferences of the customers. And the availability of the resources like the raw materials, labors, technology is very easy to acquire that one. And in that particular markets, entry and exit is also very easy. We need not to take any permissions into the any other regulatory authorities and all. Then that particular markets will be called as the perfect competitive markets. So that's why the characteristics of this perfect competitive means the firm holds a substantial market share. All the people will be equal, and industry output is standardized because homogeneous goods are only they are going to be producing the same kind of the outputs, and there's a freedom of entry and exit into that particular markets. So that's why the perfect competition means there is no monopoly. A single person or one person is not going to be, or one or two persons are not going to be ruling that particular one. No oligopoly, no oligopoly, no monopoly, no barriers to the entry. Then that is only called as the perfect competition. The advantages of this particular kind of the markets is both the buyers and the sellers will be very uh, satisfactory elements in the by participating into that market. First thing is it encourages the efficiency of the customer, efficiency of the buyers as well as the customers. It boosts up the economy of the country, and it responsive to the customer wishes. And there is a more advantageous to this organizations. They are also very able to. They are also very happy by selling the sufficient number of the products, and it is also more useful for the allocation of the resources effectively for that particular kind of markets. But whatever we are all thinking, these conditions are very strict, or these are all realistically not possible, because and at any point of time there is a situation or some point there will be some imperfection will be exist. There are many reasons, might be the accidents, might be the droughts that may not be available, that may not make sure of the raw materials. There might be the changes in the tastes and preferences of the customers. There might be the natural disasters. There might be this any pandemic situations, or there might be the shortage of the labor. There might be the shortage of the technology. There might be the inequalities in the distribution of the goods and incomes. This might be occurs because these are all the products deals with the people, and the people's mindset is not same. It is changing day by day. It is going to be introducing many elements. So that's why this perfect competition markets may not be exist in realistically. And if we have seen, the market equilibrium under the perfect competition will always be very close towards this marginal cost as well as the average cost. And it is a meeting point of where is a supply and demand. The next concept is about the short run equilibrium under perfect competition and the long run equilibrium under the perfect competition. So what is a short run equilibrium under the perfect competition means? If the perfect competition is existing only for the time span within the less span of time, then we can assume that the firms will get the maximum profit under this perfect competition. Based on the types of the products only, this competition will be varies. Anyhow, we assume that the firms are seeking to maximize their profits. Let us say price, cost, and the output, market supplies and demands, and the here marginal costs. Generally at the beginning of the producing of the product or introduction of that particular market, people will be very sufficient enough. Based on the sufficient related buyers only, they will introduce this particular products. Then that market is called as short run equilibrium perfect competition. So which means up to that time period only that will be exist, but in a long run that will become to the imperfect competition markets. We can say that if it is a new product, there is a requirement of 100 products are required, then the seller is able to produce the 100 products only. Up to that one only, there is a perfect competition, short run, very span of 1 month or 2 months only. But later on, the number of the buyers are all slowly increasing, but that much of number of the products are not easily available or easily available produced by the sellers. But it takes some time to increase the number of the firms and the number of the units, and to acquire the more the number of the resources under all. For him also there is a time will be takes. Then that time will be called as short run equilibrium under the perfect competition. For that time period only, he was enjoyed that benefit of the perfect competition. Here, the marginal cost everywhere. The whenever this average cost is average revenue or the marginal revenue will become equal, then we can say that that point is called as the short run equilibrium point, which means previously they were all getting 10,000 as a revenue, total revenue. Their profit is 10,000 rupees. Next day they were received 11,000, means 1,000 rupees is the marginal revenue. This is the total revenue. And for this 10,000 they have used two input elements, means on an average they are going to be get 5,000. And the second time they are going to be get 2, means 1,000 rupees is the marginal revenue and the average revenue is increases more than the greater than the 5,000 rupees they will get. And the next time they have to increase this inputs and the total revenue is increased to 20,000, and again this average revenue is 5,000. They have increased this marginal revenue as the 9,000. So like this, there is an imbalance between the average revenue as well as the marginal revenue. If suppose they are going to be get 5,000 as average revenue and their marginal revenue is also 5,000, then we can say that average revenue is equals to the marginal revenue. That point is called as the short run equilibrium point. So they can identify that this is a short run equilibrium point only. Then there is a chances of so up to that one only there is a market scope for this market structure and all. Later they have to go for the maintaining of long run equilibrium under perfect competition. Means that indicates marginal rate is equals to this average rate, means average revenue, means then we can say that there is an end of perfect competition. There is an imperfect competition is going to be existing, obviously. So if they want to maintain this long run firms in this perfect competition, they will only make normal profits generally. Here the marginal revenue and average revenue equivalent point will almost takes more than 5 years, more than 1 year they could be able to maintain the same level of that one. Even to reach to this marginal revenue to this average revenue, it will take 2 to 3 years or the more than 1 year. Then we can say that that equilibrium point is called as long run equilibrium point. This abnormal profits and the short run losses will never be exist into this one. If that freedom is given for the suppliers, even if it is imbalances are all there, they are going to be immediately adjusting and they could be able to adjust as per the requirements of the markets. Then we can say it as the long run equilibrium under perfect competition. But practical significance is a larger number of small firms and many buyers do not possess the power of influence the behavior of the participants in the marketplace. So that's why the power is thoroughly disappears. That might be introducing with a new person, and this power will perfect competition will be changes that leads to the imperfect competition markets. So whenever a market is hypothetical or the real violated and abstract tenets of the new classical perfect competition, in this competition the more the number that is imbalances between the buyers and the sellers, or they may be stopping to others to enter into that particular market. There might be protecting their patent rights, designing rights. They are not able to give it to the others and all. Then we can say that is as an imperfect competitive markets. Here, opposite to the perfect competitive, that's less competition there, but not the absence of the same, and some market power but not absolute market power, and mutual independency, limited number of the firms, and there is more demand for the labor. Then we can say that it has imperfect competitive markets. So generally, if we have changed with this we have compared with this countries and countries' economy situations. If it is a mixed economy, perfect competition will be there. But if it is a communism or the pure any capitalistic or any other kinds of the economy, then we can say that communism or pure competition based countries are all there. Then that countries will get this imperfect competition markets, especially China. In China, socialist learning is there. Then there the market products are all same. France and Sweden is also, we can say that it is a capitalistic learning. There is also perfect competition. But pure competition, United States and Japan, as well as this North Korea, communism is there. Then imperfect ones. So pure planned economy, we can place this one. So imperfect competitions will be there. In the mixed economy only, we can say this perfect competitive ones. There are some advantages and there are some disadvantages. Higher prices can be imposed on the products to get maximum profits with us imperfect competitive markets. And but this, if it is damaging to them, then the government may introduce constantly because of its prices in the market, and barriers are all created to avoid competition. If prices rises, many lose the customers, and sharing valid of products on the markets, the competition among the sellers, because they are few and everyone knows this product, well known of that one. And in this one, imperfect competitive markets, if only one seller and the larger number of the buyers are all there, then we can say that monopoly competitive markets. It refers to the company and its product offering dominate one sector or an industry. And this features of this monopoly competition is itself, it is, they think it is in an industry. They are the price makers, and there is a barriers to entry. Downward sloping demand curve will always be there. No close substitutes. Full control over the supply of the product is there by only one person. That is the features. And these are the example for the some of the types of the monopoly competition. That is simple monopoly, no price discrimination, but only one government sector is there to provide the telecom sector, that is BSNL. Discriminating monopoly, different price for different consumers, that is ITC tobaccos. Natural monopoly, due to the natural factors as location. For example, Gulf countries for oil, that is naturally there only the petrol is available. So that's why there is a natural monopoly. Legal monopoly, approved by the government. In this insurance sector, we can see that most of the people will prefer the LIC only because legally they have become the monopoly than the others. Technological monopoly, due to the technical superiority, Intel processor chips. Mostly they will prefer that one only. These are all some of the types of monopoly competitions. Here the advantages and the disadvantages of this monopoly competition is higher prices for the consumers. These are all the disadvantages. Less incentives to cut costs, less inventives to innovate the new products, allocate inefficiencies, decline in consumer supplies, productive inefficiencies, potential diseconomies of the scale, and may also have monopoly power. Monopolies can gain political power to protect their vested interests, less choice for the customers and all. So why the first discussion is about the disadvantages means there is a more disadvantages with the monopoly than the advantages. Here the disadvantages are all there for the buyers and the advantages are all there for the seller, because economies of scale, lower average cost for the increased sale, and high profits can be used for the research and development. The reward of getting patent. Firms who become monopolies may just be very efficient, successful and innovative. Governments can regulate to get best of both worlds, economies of scale and fair prices. That is the advantages and disadvantages of monopoly. Then duopoly competition means more than one person is there, then it is specially called as the duopoly, or the specific case of oligopoly. Means before going to this oligopoly, for a short run, if two people will be there, then we can say it as the duopoly. Two firms in the industry, strong control over the prices. Even though there is a small companies are all there, but they may not be place that much of role in that particular market. But if the more the number of the people will be enters, then it will be become the oligopoly competitive market. So here the technology industries examples, automobile industries, pharma sectors, media industries, they are all very few, but the larger number of users are there. So that markets are all called as the oligopoly markets. The next thing is monopolistic competition. It is also a part of the imperfect market or only. But monopolistic competitions means it may be think that monopoly, but if in the monopoly, if their domination increases, if the high the prices increases, then the people will try to satisfy their needs with another existing product. Let us say at the road transportation, at the time of the festivals and all, for the road transportation, if the people are charging 5,000 rupees per trip, 150 kilometers, then if they have seen that there is only 6,000 rupees is there with the flight and the time is also very less, then the people obviously go for the flight air transportation. They'll choose for the air transportation than the road transportation. But unless and until this monopoly not there, then people will not think about this one. But even this is not, flight transportation is not at all a competition to the road transportation. Whenever this monopoly is exhausted, monopolic situation is exhausted by the people, then at that time they can definitely take that particular services with the help of the other products, other kind of the products. Then we can say that there is a monopolistic competition between the airways and air transportation as well as road transportation. So including the books, CDs, movies, computers, games, restaurants, piano lessons, cookies, furnitures, etc. If the people are bored with the books, they can go for the movies. And even if they are bored with this, or if they feel that movies cost is very high, then go for the computer games, because it is an entertainment. Because we are all able to see this different kinds of the entertainment sources. These are all different products only. But if one cost will be increases, then obviously the people will move towards the another one. So that's why if we have seen the competition or the perfect competition, monopolistic and monopoly, the number of the sellers and the buyers are all larger in perfect competition as well as in the monopolistic competition. But in monopoly, one seller, larger number of the buyers, and products are all homogeneous in both monopoly and perfect competition. But there is a product differentiation in the monopolistic competition. Prices are all uniform or the medium at the perfect competition, not uniform. Generally high prices will be there at the monopoly, and not uniform because of product differentiation in the monopolistic competition. Entry of the firms is very easy in perfect competition, not possible in the monopoly competition. We can't say that there is a freedom, not absolute freedom, but everyone is different in their own way in this monopolistic competition. Here, there is no comparison between the monopoly and the monopolistic competition. There is no meeting point of the marginal revenue and average revenue, because two different industries were taken into the consideration. In their own way, they are all correct, and this way, these are all correct. So that is the competitions. That is perfect competition and imperfect competition markets. The next concept is price. Because based on this competition only, they are going to be fixing the prices for the product. So based on the demand and the place of that number of the people over there and the competition of that particular place elements, they're going to be fixing a price. Okay. So the meaning of the price is, it is the worth that is assigning to the product or to the weight, by seeing the weight of that one, by providing, by seeing the cost incurred for that one, as well as the demand which is associated with that particular product. So that's why the selling price will be equals to the cost plus profit margin. Okay. So if any producer has to fix a price, means he will take all these attributes into the consideration. What is the competition? What is the demand for that product? And how much of cost he has incurred? What is the life cycle of that particular product? Are they using for the multiple usages or not? What are the sales channels? What are the government interventions out of that one? They will see all the attributes into the consideration. So that's why the market, they'll see about the product cost and the utility of the demand, extension of the competition in the market, government and legal regulations, market methods used of that one before going to be fixing a price for the product. The next element is determination of the prices equilibrium. For that one also, they are going with this demand and supply. So if there's equilibrium point, then the prices will be at normal. If it is unequal, then the prices will be very high at this end, and here it is the low at this situation. Based on the economic conditions only, they'll try to fix the prices. They will try to balance the prices, or they'll try to increase or decrease the prices. Okay. So how to know the price information of the particular productions means based on the two indexes. One is wholesale price index, another one is the consumer price index. These two only the standards to know the products prices. Wholesale markets means the products prices which are available on the industrial area or the industrial goods, then that kind of elements will be called as wholesale price index. Then you might have the doubt that who will gives the this indexes means Competition Commission of India and the Central Statistical Organization, CSO of the in India. CSO, Central Statistical Organization, is there. This will decide this one. This will just, they will not decide. First of all, they will measure this one. For example, in a particular market, onions were produced maximum by the farmers. And this, based on the sellers' availability, they have fixed a price, they have purchased. That will be recorded by that particular authorities. That will be sent it to this CSO, Central Statistical Organization. Then they will fix, they will say, they will just announce that one. This is the wholesale rate of that particular onions. And retails are also at what rate they are all going to be selling in the market. Then they can do the surveys and they can collect the information, and they will indicate their prices. So that's why the retail products indications will be at the consumer price index, whereas the wholesale products prices will be there at the wholesale price indexes. So it is measured by the Central Statistical Organization. Number of items 100 goods and more than that one, they can go for this wholesale markets, and if it is more less than 10 or the retail ones, then we can say it as the retail market. The next thing is, as a buyer, price output such perfect competitions means they have to see the price of the curd and the quantity of the demanded is 90 and the quantity of supply is 30. Then we can say that demand is more than the supply. Then the prices will be very high. Whenever that quantity demanded is 60, quantity is supply is 60, then the price of the curd will be of 5 rupees, and the demand supply is equals to the demand is equals to the supply. So this, they can fix it as the best price to be introduced for the product. So generally this is the example for the monopoly output, revenue, cost and the profits. If the price is $14, the total revenue is zero because the output is they have not sold any one of that one. Marginal revenue is less. Total cost to produce that particular products was 2, and monopoly profit is minus or the very less. Output is 1, price is 12. They have produced one product and the price is $12. The total revenue will be 12 rupees. They will get marginal revenue from previous to now $12, and total cost they have incurred 6 rupees means $6 means average total cost is also $6 and the marginal cost is also $4. Then they have gained the monopoly profit of 6 rupees. And now if the total number of the output is increasing like this and the monopoly power is also stagnant here because here the price is reducing means the other person might be introduced here, and the marginal, whenever the marginal revenue is becoming the negative and the total cost is increasing, then they will lose the monopoly profits. That's why single price monopoly and the competition is compared here. Whenever the marginal revenue curve is there and the demand and marginal safety production is there, and they will go for the marginal supply curve. With this one, if the supply and the revenues are all meeting, then we can say that up to this point there is a profitable, then here is a dead weight loss. So monopoly gain will be there up to here is only. But if this marginal supply curve is meeting this demand, then we can say that they are not going to be get any monopoly power over that. So that's why the abnormal profits, if they have to gain, means the marginal costs are all meets to this marginal average, it will take more time. Then there is a marginal profits. Immediately if it is reaching to this marginal revenues are all meeting the point of this demand curve or the supply curve, then we can say it as normal profits. If it takes very less time then to meet this marginal revenue with this marginal cost and all, then we can say that it is a loss point. So as per this one, in the long run price output of a monopoly competition, all factors are all variable, and long term marginal cost cuts the marginal rate from the below ones. It will take some lot of time. It will take more than 1 year or more time to cut this average revenue line. And price output in the short run at a monopolistic competition is always be produced wherever the marginal revenue is equals to the marginal cost. By that time only the companies will get the profit, otherwise they won't get any profit. So that is the first half of the monopoly competition under all only. Then the next element is business organization, establishment of business organization. So once a market is fixed for them, then they have to start in any room, they have to start in a place, they have to start any room, or legally they have to protect that particular organization. That is called as the business organization. Here, to establish that particular organization, they requires the capital. That is, every rupee which is spending for this successful running of a business is called as the capital. This capital is investing by the owner of that particular business. If that owner is whole and sole responsible, then that organization is called as unlimited liability companies. But if the owner is responsible for only the amount of investments only, then that companies will be called as the limited liability companies. Which means the owner is invest, and at his own risk he can invest, and he can get the debt, and his own investments he will get. If he get the losses, he need not, he again has to sell his properties, and he is the responsible for every business business losses and profits. But here the owner is invested 100 rupees, means he is responsible for that 100 only. If he get the loss 100 rupees only, he will get the loss. If he get the profits for this 100 rupees or only proportionate only, he will get the profits. Means his responsibility is very less. If the losses occurs, he need not to attach his personal properties to this one. That is called as the types of the organizations, mainly of two elements: unlimited liability and limited liability. If only single person takes the responsibility, then that organizations will be called as solo proprietorship. If 2 to 20 members, friends or known persons will start, then it is called as a partnership. If 100 members and more people are come together and they are similar with an aim of that when they have started, then it is called as the cooperative societies. If it is they have started with the promotion of the religion, societal elements, then it are called as trusts or the non-profit organizations, etc. But if they have started with this limited liability, means they must and should get the permission from this SEBI. That is that's why the end of that names will be comes with this limited, LTD will be there. That is public limited, private limited, foreign limited. So these kind of the words we can see for that particular companies. So here the market for such companies will be decides the size and nature of the business, controlling level of them, and the level of the structure, willingness to take the risks for everyone, and as well as the implication of the taxes, profit or losses of the business, access to cash. So these are all will be differentiated from one type of organizations to another type of organization. If only one person is there, solo proprietary. So 2 people are there, partnership companies. And more number of people are coming together, then limited liability corporations. If they are all together, is going to be expansion, more number of businesses, then it is called as corporation. Then these types of the firms, again, based on the production, they will be categorized as service businesses like hospitality, hotelity, information technology, BPOs, etc. And mercantile businesses, that is exchanging only, will be takes manufacturing businesses where they can larger scale industries can be establishes. Hybrid businesses, they might have the different branches, different segments, etc. Then how to choose a business firm means based on the ideas only, they will do the brainstorming and they can start the business on this 4 category basis. They may start the business to provide the goods and services to the businesses, then it is called as business to business. And they can start a business to provide the goods to the customers, then it is called as B2C, business to customer. If he is a customer and he is able to sell to the another ones, then it is called as customer to customer. And the next thing is, if the customer is providing the raw material to the business entities, then we can say that C to B, consumer to the businesses. So based on that availability and based on the availability of the other industries, and they can go for this choosing of the business. So anyhow, we have seen this. What is the meaning of the solo proprietorship? A single person is whole and sole responsible for that businesses. Non-profit organizations to spread the humanity or to protect the religion or to protect the educational objectives of the society, then they'll start this non-profit organization. If they come together, the board of directors, managing directors, etc., then it is called as a corporation. If they come together with a legal entity, then it is called as a limited liability. And they generally come together and they will start the business, then it is called as general partnership. Then, affecting points of the business structure is based on their taxation and the governing factors and the legal liabilities cost to start that particular business entities, operational costs, environmental support, market conditions, and the shareholders involved for the ready to available for that particular businesses. Solo proprietary means one owner, unlimited liability. Partnership means 2 to 20 owners, unlimited liability. Private limited companies means 1 to 149 owners will be there, that with the limited liability. Public limited company means 7 plus owners will be there, limited liability. And the cooperative means 7 plus owners will be there, the limited liability. State owned companies means government will be initiated such kind of the companies. So here are the some of the steps to follow or to establish a business organization. First thing is it will be starts with refining the business idea, and then we need to write the business plan with the flow charts, that is who organization structures and all, how to start, when to start, where to start, and what to produce, etc. Access the finance, that is friends, family, and financial institutions. They can get the capital, and they have to get the legal approvals from this local and all the regulatory authorities. Register with the government and intellectual property rights. They have to protect their ideas. And purchase an insurance policy and business. They have to protect their business ideas. Then they have to build a team. They have to choose the vendors. They have to brand the business and advertise, grow the business, and follow the actions. These are all the steps to establish a business organization. So generally, the business organizations will be developed from local to regional, regional to national, national to international, international to another global level. So the next one is about the solo proprietorship. So solo proprietorship means a single seller, the larger number of the buyers are all there. We can say it as the solo proprietorship. It is an unincorporated business with only one owner who pays the personal income tax on profits earned by that particular business. And it is easy to establish and dismantle due to the lack of governing involvement of that one. And solo proprietorship end up with getting restrictions into this limited liability corporations, and the single person is the owner to complete, he has the overall control over to get the profits, and he is also have the same vice in his coins backside, means he is also responsible for the overall losses incurring in that particular business entities. The owner's personal finance and the business finance are the same, both are same. Most of the all businesses in the US are solo proprietorship. These are some of the facts about the solo proprietorship. The features of the solo proprietorship: single owner, no sharing of profits and losses, one man's capital, unlimited liability, less legal formalities, one man control. So solo proprietary, he may invest his own properties, his own investments, and whatever the amount he can get the third party, based on the name of that person only they will give. And the investment procedures of this solo proprietorship is easy to start, less control of formation, business secrecy, distribution and use of the profits, control of the business, less government regulation, less income tax, easy to close the business. But there are some disadvantages because here is an unlimited liability. If any losses comes, that person only has to take care of that one. Limited sources of the funds. No other. If that person doesn't have the faith by them, then he may not get that much of funds to promote his business activities. One person's means he might have the limited knowledge or limited skills. Contribution of the skills may not be there. Lack of continuity, lack of qualified employees, burden of the losses. These are all some of the disadvantages of that one. If any person has to start the solo proprietorship, he has to start these documents required for a solo proprietorship registration, and then he has to require to registration required for a solo proprietorship form by having this Aadhaar card, PAN card, bank account, and registered office proof. And he can registering as a small scale business, medium scale, small or medium enterprises. Shops and Establishment Act license will be applicable for this solo proprietorship, and as per this taxation rules, GST registration is mandatory for this solo proprietorship. The next kind of the organizations are all partnership organizations. The partnership organization is defined as an association of two or more persons to carry or on and as owners of the business or the profits. The success of the partnership depends upon the mutual coordination and the confidence between those two to 20 members between them. So the key factors they are all the mutual agencies. There is an unlimited liability, limited life, co-ownership of the partnerships, and are all there. And two or more persons will be their business of that one. A partner is an arrangement between the two or more people to observe business operations and share its profits and liabilities. The features of the partnership organizations are all there. Members will be more, voluntary registration, unlimited liability, sharing of the profits and losses, mutual agencies, transfer of interest, contractual relations, continuity, etc. is there with this one. So this advantages is very easy to form. Availability of larger resources when compared to the solo proprietorship. Better decisions can be taken. Collaborations will be very easy. Performance can be improved. Planning will be perfect. Teamwork will be there. Group coming together, they can take the risk sharing, protection of interest of each partner, and there is a chances to success and win-win relationships will be maintained among the partnership. The disadvantages is obviously if any quarrels occurs between one person to another person, that might be the end of that particular organization. That is unlimited liabilities, investments without withdrawal difficulties, instabilities, lack of trust and confidence over one partner to another partner, lack of secrecy, difficulty in decision making because all the partners should take the decisions. But if we have seen, the partners are all types of the partners will be of these categories. If they are all investing as well as working together, then it is called as active partners. If they are just investing, not working, then they are called as a sleeping or silent partner. Or if they are all not invested but they are working for the growth of that organization, they are called as salaried partners. If there is no rule that every person has to invest the same amount, if they have invested more than 50% of the investment, then they are called as a major partner. If it is less, minor partner. And if he is already a previous one, a new partner is joined, the previous one will be called a senior partner. And only for the contractual purpose, if they have entered, only for some time only if they have entered, then it is called as a quasi partner. If that partner is died, then it is called as dormant partner. And nominal partner, on behalf of that dormant partner, if any person nominee is their nominal partner, and retiring partner and new partner. So if they are going to be withdrawn from that organization, if he is going to be replacing with another person, these are all the different types of the partners. So this partnership establishment is very easy. Recruitment prospective partners will be there and apply for the partnership. Administration partnership registration will be done with this registration officers. Then the next step is the joint stock companies. If owner is not there and single person is there, if a group of people come together and if they start the businesses, then it is called as a joint stock companies. Here it is a separate legal entity. The owner is different, organization is different. They will always focus you on the development of the organization, and the number of the members will be limited and their responsibilities are also limited. They can transfer their responsibility to the others, and these are all legally established organizations. So some of the examples of these joint stock companies are all Indian Oil Corporation Limited, Tata Motors Limited, Reliance Industries Limited, State Bank of India Limited, etc. In this one also, any commercial or industrial undertaking with the government owns and the manages with a maximum portion by the government, then we can say it as a public enterprises. Some of the public enterprises are all the Indian Oil Corporation, Bharat Petroleum, HP, NHPC, NTPC, ONGC, BHEL, SAIL. These are all the examples of these public enterprises. And public enterprises, again, government companies means entire 100% is invested by the government. And those who are under the control of the government, then they are called as statutory corporations. If they have invested or if they have established as a department wise, then they are all called as the departmental undertakings. If they are all initiated by the Indians but the private members, then those organizations will be called as private enterprises like Reliance, Airtel, Unilever Corporation, HDFC, Infosys, Tata Consultancy Services, and all. So, the difference between this public and private sectors is provides public goods but provides profits incentives to be efficient in this private sectors. Not affected by recession by the public sectors, but the private sectors has to think about the ups and downs of the market conditions. Government jobs to protect the environment, less protection will be there in this private sector, helps reduce inequalities in society, and don't require the taxes to fund. So that is the one. And non-profit organizations means then organizations that has been granted tax exempt status by the International Revenue Services because it furtherly promotes the sociability causes like any of the orphanages, etc. And the cooperative societies are all there to provide the benefits for their communities, like Amul milks. Only for the dairy milk productions, they have started this kind of the organization. So that's about this module 3, that is market structures and the types of the business entities. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.